You know, being a healer main in World of Warcraft, I'm frequently asked, especially in PvP, hey Moon, what's it like to be a healer? And to put it quite frankly, have you ever been on a team before where you've just wanted to commit the most violent atrocities you can to these degenerates? Hey everyone, my name's Overlord Moon, and today we're going to be talking about the healer shortage in World of Warcraft. Going back to the question I asked at the beginning of this video, people don't ask me what it's like to be a healer. No, instead they ask me, why can't I find a good healer in LFG? And I'm talking in the context of PvP. My friends will come to me and they'll be like, Moon, I'm waiting 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, upwards of 2 hours. I'm spending all of my free time that I can play this game sitting in LFG, and I can't seem to find a healer to save the life of me. Why is it? And well, my friends, I'm here to explain to you in 3 simple reasons why that may be. So, let's go ahead and start off with reason number 1. The meta is hot garbage, and here's what I mean by that. If you are a new healer, or if you're looking into picking up healing, this meta is probably one of the worst to do that in. And in Shadowlands 9.2, with the addition of tier set bonuses and double legendaries and additional modifiers, damage comes in fast and damage comes in hot. And if you're not there to press the buttons real fast, well, you'll be looking at a screen. It's just going to be the release spirit screen. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of healers don't have the cooldowns necessary to handle with all of this damage coming in at once if everybody on the enemy team pops their cooldowns, unless you're a holy priest.
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so totally cool. I have a no die button that I can use every minute if it's not procced. And then I also have a no CC button on me every 30 seconds to where I can't be CC'd. And then I also have another no CC button on me every 45 seconds where I could just kind of walk out of crowd control. And then I've also got another no die button on a minute called Ray of Hope. And the enemies be better Ray of Hoping that they get through all of these defensive cooldowns that I have. And then also I have an instant cast stun to where I can let my mage bust on the—
Now remember guys, this is all a joke, and if you main holy priest and are offended by this, good. I hope you get nerfed into the ground. Back to what I was saying in regards to the fast-paced meta, this makes it, in turn, not as rewarding to heal, because rather than a healing meta where raw heals are powerful enough and the healer gets to have a more active role in the team's defense, it's more so damage mitigation, and you have to rely a lot on your DPS players to press their defensives early in order to survive damage. This can feel really bad, and this can definitely feel like you are not really on the team at times. You're just kind of spectating your 2 DPS try to win the game for you, and it's not really rewarding in the long run. Now, with this all being said, this isn't meant as a way to dissuade you from healing in any way, and I actually think that when you're able to make these plays that can save your team in such a fast-paced meta, people tend to notice more, and it can definitely feel rewarding in that regard. I'm just trying to tell you that these are going to be some scenarios that you're going to be dealing with. I mean, heck, there's been times where I've felt like an absolute hero, landing a well-timed spirit link and keeping my team alive for just that few more seconds to win the game.
The time has come for me to access my inner Sea-Doo and win this game. I shall ascend to the top of Mulgore. Yes, the spirits are giving me a message. In precisely 3 seconds, I'm going to be put into a full blind by the enemy rogue, and my shadow priest is going to be put into a full kidney shot. He does not have disperse up, and I do not have my trinket, meaning that I must link right now to break the CC. It has been done.
Hey yo, Moon, that was a sick link. We won, dude. We won. Yeah! I get 12 CR and I get to promote up to duelist for the 18th time. And I'll go ahead and utilize that as a segue to get us into our second teaching point as to why there's a healer shortage in World of Warcraft, specifically World of Warcraft PvP. You see, when you're on an arena team, you're on a team of 3, which means there's 1 healer and 2 DPS. And boy, do DPS players suck. Now, I'm not talking about mechanically, but I'm talking about more so with the attitude. You guys have some of the absolute worst attitudes I've seen in the game. I don't know how many times I've been told to kill myself by a demon hunter with a name from the Naruto universe, like Sasuke. On a more serious note, whenever you're a healer, you're expected to have a much higher level of awareness and game knowledge than your DPS players who are at your rating. And whenever you're a healer, you're expected to be like the team captain in a way, right? You are the person, you're the quarterback, you're in the back line, you see everything that's going on, and you are also in control of your cycling through the defensives because you know, or you have to know, Or you have to try to know. I mean, it's Shadowlands, who really knows how much damage is coming in. But anyways, you have to try and predict what level of damage is coming in and how many cooldowns you need to commit to that as a team. And that's a pretty daunting task. And that's quite a lot to expect for a player who's trying to climb. And it's also very frustrating whenever you have a DPS player who has significantly less game knowledge, significantly less awareness, and is mashing his buttons and getting one-shots to get to the same rating as you. It can be very tilting in a way, even more so when that DPS player develops an ego and think they're significantly better than you and that you are somehow bad. So my healer friends, let's go ahead and take a quick poll. I just want you to raise your hand if this applies to you, right? If you've ever healed arena before, and you've had a DPS player line of sight you behind a pillar, get crowd controlled, die behind that pillar, and blame you for it, raise your hand. Alright, let me go ahead and count real quick. Yeah, that's right. 100% of healers have this thing happen to them. And by chance, if you didn't raise your hand, I know you meant to. Or you're lying. And you know what they say about liars? Back to the challenger bracket with you, you little bitch. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. What I'm trying to get at here is that if you're a low-rated healer, chances are your DPS players are not going to have the game awareness or sense of recognizing what their own mistake was. If they lined you, if they use a defensive wrong, if they didn't peel for you and instead you got railed by a demon hunter doing PvE damage to you and went through all of your cooldowns, they're going to just automatically assume that it's your fault. And they can get pretty toxic about it. And this definitely dissuades people from healing in a way, because it's pretty rough. While obviously I have a bunch of skits in here poking fun at the little nuances of the WoW PvP community, it can be mentally draining having to deal with such levels of toxicity and such levels of blame that ultimately you know is not you. And if you're somebody who's very self-reflective, likes to recognize your own mistakes, maybe a little bit too self-critical, like a lot of healers are. I mean, let's be real here. All healers are pretty chill and pretty awesome people. Most healers are pretty chill and pretty awesome people. It can definitely get to a point where it's so taxing where you would rather just not play the game anymore or play DPS instead. Going back to that train of thought regarding the whole awareness thing, it actually helps a lot to play a healer. Seriously. No, I'm serious. If you're a DPS player, I would seriously consider trying out a healer for a while. It makes you develop a whole new sense of awareness in the game that really translates well whenever you swap back to the DPS. You have a better sense of where your healer is positioned, you have a better sense of how your cooldowns interact with the rest of your teams, and it's just overall beneficial for your team. But to close this point out, there's a lot of healers where they've just taken the blame so much and they've seen their DPS players blunder again and again and again, where they just say, screw this, I'll just DPS myself. And that, my friends, contributes to a massive imbalance in regards to the DPS to healer ratio. That's why I can log in and get instant queues and queue all day. Now granted, I'll probably lose quite a bit because, but at least I don't have to wait half an hour, 2 hours even. And that's something that I can appreciate about my role. And before we move on to our final point, I'll just go ahead and give it a little example of what this looks like. So put yourself in this scenario, right? You are a healer and you're healing a Ret Paladin in an Arms Warrior composition at 2300. Yes, this actually happened at 2300. And you're going up against a random composition like a Fire Mage, a Ret Paladin, and a Holy Paladin, right? It's workable, not the most meta, but it's most certainly workable. Let's just get to the skit. I'll show you guys what happened. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and go behind this pillar. Alright, I'm getting run down. I grounded a Hodge. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'm blind. Okay, Paladin, all we have to do in order to win this is you just gotta use your bubble. I'm gonna eat a polymorph out of this, okay? Alright, yeah, okay, this is you. Now. You're dead. Well, shaman. What? You know what you did. Did what? You just sat there and tanked the crowd control. I saw it. What? Yeah, I saw you. You ate a full sheep at the end there. Ever heard of wind shear? Yeah, I kicked every other polymorph. I got blinded in, like, I got, Hodge, and then Hammer of Justice, right? 6 second stun, 6 second disorient, right? 8 second incap. And you're saying you couldn't have grounded the Hodge. There's 2 paladins, and I grounded one, and the other one ran me down in Ghost Wolf and decided to blinding light me. That's instant cast CC. There's no way of dodging. Well, I've seen your gameplay, and you're not kicking the polymorphs at all. Now this, my friends, is the secret sauce. You see, I have an add-on called Details, which most of you should know by now. It tells you how many kicks somebody has per game. So, of course. Like the boss I am, I pulled up my details add-on, sorted by interrupts. Yeah, hey, by the way, right here, it says I have 6 kicks on Polymorph, and I know I've grounded at least 3 of them. You're not on the list. Did you kick anything that game? Trash fucking healer. And now we're back in LFG. Yeah, let's go, LFG, yeah. And look, I'm not asking for a whole lot from a DPS player. All I'm asking for is a big, hulking, mighty Death Knight to grip me in and wrap his arms around me. Hey yo, homie, that's kind of sus. Chill. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. Look, dude, I'm reading a script. No, dude, that's pretty suspicious to me. Who's writing your script? I'm reading a script. Dude, edit that out. It's not like that. It's not like that. Chill. Alright, so for point 3, this is something that I've been talking about pretty much the whole video and is kind of integrated in point 1 and point 2. Point 3, crowd control. Oh boy, do we love crowd control. So here's the thing, alright? I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. As a healer, the vast majority of your arena games will be spent in crowd control. That's just how it is. Sure, you have some things that you can do to prevent it, like positioning well or using your utility correctly, but ultimately, it's gonna happen. If there's a hunter standing on you, you will be in the freezing trap. Listen to me. You will be in the freezing trap. Even with Holy Ward, I know you holy priests out there, you will be in the freezing trap. And so I think what's made me a much better healer is using that time while I'm in crowd control to pay attention to the other cooldowns. Because let's be real here, there's not a whole lot of times where our teammates can peel, and our trinket, we only get 1 of those, so we can't break every single crowd control. You've got a lot of downtime, and while this can be frustrating because you can feel like you're completely helpless, you're just stuck in a chain, it can also give you some time to think of a split-second decision like, oh hey, swap to this target the next time the DR is reset in our favor, or get ready to do a counter go. Pop your defensive here, let's get ready to do a counter go the second I'm out of here, right? And so, I'll admit, I'm a player like this too. I would like to be spending most of my time in an arena match being active, right? I would like to be healing my team whenever I'm healing. I would not like to be stuck in a polymorph. I think I've spent, if I were to add up like how many times I've been stuck in polymorph in my whole lifetime, it would probably be several hours. I think I've spent several hours of my life on this earth being a virtual sheep. What am I doing with my... But as I'm saying, that's just fundamentally part of the game, right? The vast majority of the games, unless you're swap to, which that even feels worse, getting killed as the healer, but the vast majority of the games, you will be put in crowd control as the healer, and they will try to kill one of your 2 DPS players. And that can kind of suck. Sometimes it just feels like you're helpless and you just lose the game. And I'm putting this as its own third point because this is an integral part of arena matches, and this is separate from a burst meta and separate from your DPS player being monkeys. This is something, a little bit more real. And honestly, I'm at the point where I don't blame players for not wanting to partake in this type of playstyle anymore, especially with the other 2 factors into consideration. All right, my friends, I think it's time we wrap this up. So, in conclusion, we've talked about how there's a healer shortage in the World of Warcraft PvP community, and there's 3 potential theories leading to this, and I'm sure there's a lot more that you can let me know in the comments. But the 3 that I came up with were that the overall burst meta is not really catering to healers who are trying to learn the game and pick up their role. Second is that DPS players are insanely toxic and have a massive ego and don't believe that anything is wrong with them. And lastly, being in crowd control isn't a playstyle that many players enjoy. With that being said, my friends, if you enjoyed this type of content, go ahead and leave a like on the video, leave a comment what you would like me to rant about next, because I actually really love making this type of videos. You can find me on Twitch at OverlordMoonOfficial, and for the love of goodness, please subscribe. It gives me a notification on my phone and makes me happy. So, with that being said, folks, my name's Overlord Moon, and signing off.